All right, everyone, welcome into my beauty world. So, we are going to do an interesting video today, and it's going to be a little negative, but I don't mean to be negative. I'm going to preface this by saying I love the brands, I love their products, but some things just don't always work for you. So, we are going to do a full face of products that I regret purchasing. Now, I did have a Ipsy and BoxyCharm subscription before. So all of these I actually purchased full price at my own money. These weren't items that I got through like Ipsy or BoxyCharm. Some of them I did get on sale, and I'll explain, the products as I use them. But we're going to do a full face of products that just did not work for me. So, again, it's going to be a little bit negative. I don't mean any hate to the brands or the products or anything. Everything just doesn't work for everybody. So, now, I always start out with my eyes. That's just something that I always do first. So we're going to start out with the eyes. Now, I love this eye primer. I do not have an eye primer that I did not like. So we're going to go in with my favorite eye primer. So this is going to be the the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. This is what I use to cancel out my eyelids. Now, before that, I am going to go into my redness topical gel that I got from my dermatologist. I said this in the last video, but I really don't think that this works for me, but I'm going to use it up because, I paid for it. So I always start with that so I can let that sink in while I do my eye primer. And I honestly just take this with my finger and put it all over. And it just cancels out my redness. So this is a product that I love. You can see that I am getting down in there. I actually got this on sale at an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale where it was 50% off, and I heard some reviews about it. I was like, that sounds like a good product for me, and I have been loving it ever since. And this is all I use for eye primer currently. I just love it so much. I really do. All right, so then while that sets, now I don't really have a sunscreen that I don't like, but I always have to wear a sunscreen. So I'm going to use this Skinic, I think it's called, or Cynic. It's SCINIC, SPF 50 plus, PA++++. So this is a really good, it's a mild sun essence. I really enjoy it, and it's just honestly one of my favorites. And like I said, I don't really have a sunscreen that I don't like, so we're just going to put this on today. And I will tell you, some of the products I don't have because I did do a declutter before I started my channel. And unfortunately, I did declutter some of the products that I hate. It's just one of those things that I really wanted to get my collection down to products that I love and that I enjoy using. So some of them I did declutter because I honestly just didn't enjoy using them. Okay, so now that the sunscreen is on, let's go into the eyeshadow palettes. Now, you are probably going to be surprised by this because everyone loves this palette. And I'm talking about the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. I hate this palette. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hate this palette. Honestly, it's a really pretty color story, but it's just not it for me. The shimmers aren't shimmering the way I want them to. I mean, I like impact. These just aren't very impactful, I will be honest. I just really hate it. Like, mine is honestly barely used because I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And I'll be honest, I usually go for colorful looks. I'm not so much into neutrals. So we're going to use this for the neutral matte shades today. And then the other palette that I wanted to use that I wanted to talk about was this Ninhydrin palette from Adept Cosmetics. So this is a palette that has a bunch of duochromes and shimmers. You can see in here, it's like, there's some shifty shades, but honestly, again, it's just not as impactful as I want it to be. It just really isn't. So really, really unfortunate. I just really don't like it and I don't use it often. But we're wearing black today. So we are going to, we can go in with any of the colors. Now, I'm not big into greens. I do like the teal. Maybe we'll go into the teal. I don't think I've ever used that one. But they do have two mattes in this palette. There's like a green matte and then a purple matte. So we have the green matte here and like a purpley matte. I could go into that. It gets a little dark and the mattes aren't the best in this palette. So I think that's why I'm going to end up using some of the mattes in the Natasha Denona palette so that we can get a base layer down. Okay, so for the Natasha Denona palette, oh, what should I do? These colors don't really go together, but you know what? My makeup's gonna turn out awful today because I hate all these products that I'm using. So it doesn't matter. I have nowhere to be, thankfully. I have nowhere to be. So we're gonna go into the shade, I think, Fair and Mesh. So we have the shade Fair here and Mesh here. And I think we're gonna start out with those in the crease. So like I said, this might be a little negative of a video, but honestly, not everything is meant for everybody. Not everything works for everybody. So I really don't think it's a negative when something doesn't work for you. I'm just trying to give you guys enough information that you will maybe consider not buying these palettes if it's not for you after you see how the look turns out. You know, honestly, maybe you're my same skin type and it's not going to work for you, something like that. So I just want to really, just give you guys my honest opinions, you know, especially because I paid my own money for these palettes. I can't return them, or like all these products, I can't return them anymore. So I'm going to use them, but I just am not loving them. So I think I'm going to go into this shade, I think we're going to go into Tender. It's like a little darker of a matte, because these other shades just aren't really showing up for me. So we're just going to put this in the outer corner and kind of deepen it a little bit. And then I'm going to put it in the crease. So, yeah, I honestly, I feel bad for, you know, when products don't always work out for you, but it's just the way it is, you know. Now, I know I said this in a past video, but if this is the first video you are watching of mine, hello, my name is Ashley, and I'm happy you decided to join us today. But this eye, I have eczema all over my body, and this eye, I think, has like an eczema patch in the corner, and it really, really, gets patchy, and it will happen with all shadows. This has nothing to do with the shadows and the formulas when it comes to that. It's just my skin. It's just something that unfortunately happens because I believe it's eczema. So honestly, I am not going to try to make this look perfect because, like I said, my makeup is not going to be worn outside the house today. And on top of that, I just don't want to sit here forever doing this, but you can see, do you see the patchiness that's coming on this eye? I'm telling you, it happens all the time. And it's not the shades, it's literally just my eye and the folds and the eczema. Okay. So that's a little dark. Yeah, look at that patchiness. Oh, it just drives me insane. But, you know, sometimes I just ignore it because honestly, not everything, look at that. That's kind of patchy too. Now, is this me or is this the palette? And this is what I'm saying. So I did see when Natasha Denona did Glamzilla's bridal makeup, she said that every single one of her palettes has a different formula. And honestly, based on the palettes that I have of hers, I 100% believe that. And so when people are like, oh, it's her same formula, I don't think it is. I think she really does use different formulas in all her palettes. Now this looks patch central. Patch City, Patch Central, whatever. It just looks patchy on the outside here, but honestly, we can try to cover it up with some shimmer. I'm just not. It's not going to be perfect. And like I said, this is just a common thing that happens to my eyeshadow, unfortunately. I can't leave it. I can't leave it. I'm sorry. I cannot leave it. Oh my gosh, it's so patchy. So I honestly, and this is like what I experience when I use this palette, it's just not it. Like, it takes so much extra work for me to like get out the patchiness, and it's just really, for the price you pay for this palette, and I paid for this full price. For the price you pay for this palette, I just really don't think it's worth it. I don't. I mean, maybe if you use neutrals all the time, sure, this could be worth it for you, but as someone who's not really a neutral girly, it's not it. It's not it. All right, so we are going to use this ACI 24, I think, because I don't think I've ever popped this shade on. So this is a really interesting, almost like a purpley blue. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but it's actually very, very pretty. And I'm just going to put this on all over. Let's do some on the outer corner. And like, it's pretty, you know, it's like, okay, it's just not my favorite. I'm gonna be honest. It's just not my favorite. And I think I got spoiled because I used the What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye palette, and those duochromes are so sparkly. They have so much like sparkle and glitter to them that that's the formula that I want when I get a duochrome. And these just are, like, they're duochrome, but they're not like that What's Up Beauty palette that has like the sparkles. I love the sparkles. All right, let's go into, you know, we're just going to play around. And like I said, this makeup's going to look horrible, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to go into this ACI 20 shade up here. This is like a, again, like a purple to almost pastel or like sky blue. Not sure if you'll be able to see it on my finger there. But we're going to put this in the inner corner. It might not go together, honestly. We're just playing around, and I'm just showing you the makeup that I don't like. So, I'm okay if it's not, like, the best look ever. Just be kind, please. Because, like I said, I have nowhere to be, so it's just not really something that I'm like, oh my god, I have to make this look perfect. So, that looks ugly. But okay enough, I guess. And then let's just take my blending brush, and we're just gonna go over the crease again, just to kind of blend those shades. And honestly, it's okay. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It's really not. Like I said, it's just not really sparkly. It's like, it's almost like the shimmers or the duochromes don't have like a lot of base pigment, so they're kind of see-through. I'm not loving it, but we're gonna deal with that. We're just gonna leave it as that for now. And then let's do, don't really have a pen that I don't like. So we're just going to go in with my NYX one. We're just going to try to do, this is actually the brown shade. I ran out of the black shade. The tip got a little messed up. And we're just going to try to do like the smallest little wing. Honestly, my wings never turn out. It's just like a millennial thing. I like the rite of passage for me. I have to have a wing. But honestly, my wings always suck. And the wings just get bigger because they just get worse. So we're gonna try to match them. I'm just gonna leave it because I don't care. Okay, we're just gonna leave it. Now I did not buy this mascara full price. However, I bought it in the Sephora Favorites kit. This mascara that I'm gonna try on today, it's my least favorite in the little kit that was around last Sephora sale. And it is going to be this Idol Lancome Lash Idol Flutter Extension Mascara. It flakes. It flakes on me so bad. And it like gets into my eye. I honestly think it looks pretty cute. Like, I think it looks pretty good. But every time I've worn it, it just ends up flaking and getting into my eye and irritating my eye. So, definitely not going to be getting this with my voucher. I think I'm gonna end up getting the... I can't remember now. We're just gonna put this on to the best of our abilities. Which, like, this eye, those... Like, my lashes, they don't ever do the same thing on each eye. And I'm not one to put on multiple coats because I wear glasses. And I think I said this in a previous video, but I have to wear glasses all the time. It's just part of my eyes. And so I never do a lot of coats because, again, I have to wear glasses. Alrighty, so for a primer, I don't have a primer that I hate that I have bought because I don't buy a lot of primers. I'm not a big primer girly. So I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Putty Primer. I do like this primer. I'm just using it because the foundation that we're going to use today, we need some smoothing going on here. Because it just attaches to all of my dry patches. Oh my goodness. So, and my hair looks different today. I am trying a curly hair routine. I posted a video asking the curly hair girlies if I have curly hair, and some of them gave me some suggestions for some tips to do my hair, so we tried that out today. So if it looks different, that's why. Now, before I go in to the foundation today, I'm gonna put this what is this? Bye Bye Redness. I don't know if they still make this. I bought this a long time ago, and honestly, it's so expensive. I thought it would be good for my redness, but it just does not really work that well for me. But we're just gonna slap some of this on to try to hide some of my redness on my cheeks, especially because this is another product that I bought that I don't really love, that I basically haven't used. Honestly, it's probably expired, but we're gonna use it for today's video. It'll be fine. So I'm just gonna put this down where I have redness, which a lot of times is my nose and my cheeks. And on it, like I said, don't love this. I paid full price for this, and I do not love it. Excuse me. And then for foundation, so when I originally bought this, it was on Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty. It was 50% off. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. I read some reviews, and some of the reviews said, oh, this might not be the best for dry skin. And I have dry skin. So I was like, already under the impression like, hey, this might not work for me. And it really doesn't. It really doesn't. So this is the Urban Decay Face Bond. I have the shade Too Fair Neutral. And this just looks horrible on my skin. It also oxidizes. So we're going to use my Anissa Beauty foundation brush. This is the Pinnacle foundation brush. It's like a little triangle. And like I said, this oxidizes, so it might look a little light now, but by the time we finish our makeup, it's not going to be light. It will be just fine. And I actually went in store because I did hear that it oxidized, and so I went in store to test the shades, and this was the best shade for me. I walked around the store for a little while to see if the oxidization, if it really did oxidize like they said, and unfortunately, it does. It does indeed oxidize. So, just going to put some on my brush. Now, I have found that if I use this with a damp beauty sponge, it like breaks apart the foundation. So, I do not use a damp beauty sponge for this. I use a brush. So, it's depending on the foundation, depending on what I use, will depend, like what foundation I use will depend what tool I use. And for this one, I do use a brush because I found that a beauty blender just was, well, I don't even have a beauty blender, but a sponge, a wet sponge, just wasn't working well for me. Honestly, it looks kind of good today. It doesn't look as bad as it normally does. You can see on my nose, maybe. You might be able to see. It just gets so, like, sticks to dry patches. It just doesn't look the best, in my opinion, but we will survive. So, next thing I do is cream bronzer. Now, the one cream bronzer that I want to talk about that I already decluttered is the NARS cream bronzer. So many people raved about the NARS cream bronzer, and so I picked it up, and I was like, I'm gonna love this, right? It's so orange on me. So I'm a neutral to cool undertone, and that bronzer was so incredibly orange on me that I hated using it. I kept it in my collection through several declutters because I was like, I spent full money on this. I want to use it. Every time I used it, I hated my makeup. I hated the way it looked. So I already decluttered that, but I do unfortunately have another bronzer that I want to go in with that I also don't like for the color. And this pains me, okay? This pains me to say because I love Lunar Beauty. I watch Manny. I love his channel. I think he's amazing. I love most of his products. And I got the Light Sky new contouring stick, or the bronzing and sculpting stick that they came out with last year. And again, it's just too orange on me. It really is. Now I would use his bronzer brush because I love this brush. Like, if you're gonna get anything, get this brush. This is an amazing brush. It's very affordable. It's like 15 bucks, I think. So that's dirty though, and so I don't want to cross-contaminate with stuff I've already used, so I'm going to use this newly washed, it's dry, but this is my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer Brush, and I honestly love this for cream products. And so I actually put the brush right to the stick because I never draw on the sticks right to my face. And then I'm just, oh my gosh, got a little too pigmented. We're going to go all the way up with this. Oh my goodness. Okay, I put way too much on my brush. Let's just see if we can remedy the situation. But here you can see. Do you see how orange it is on me? It's just not it for me. I'm sorry. Like I said, I love Manny. I love watching his channel. I love most of his products. Like, his powder is literally one of my favorite powders that I own. And, but this bronzer, I almost went with Fair Sky, but I was like, I think it's just going to be a little too light for me. And I bought this off his website. I bought it the day it launched because I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, he's coming out with a bronzer. I know I'm going to love it. And then I got it and was like, oh boy, this is way too orange on me. So we're going to take a dry beauty blender and we're just going to try to pounce this over the areas that I went way too pigmented to try to tone this down a little bit. Oh my god. Do you see how bad this looks? To be fair, it's a little more pigmented than I remembered, so I did not do a very good job with the pigmentation. I did a little too much, but honestly, I think even this, you can see just how really orange it's looking on me. And like this side over here, I sheared out a little more than this side, and it's still just a little too orange for my complexion. So it makes me super sad because, well, first off, I paid full price for this and I wanted to support Manny and his brand, and it just, oh girl, it does not work for me. It does not work for me. So we're going to try to tone this down with some Hourglass powder at the end. So we're just going to ignore the ridiculous bronzer that is happening all over my face right now. And I always just kind of take some, I don't, you know, I have a double chin, so like I don't usually make my double chin darker. For me, it's like when your double chin always shows, I feel like that's not the best thing to do, is just make it even more noticeable. But to each their own. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. And look, I took this one way too far in too. Oh my goodness, I really messed this up. Thank goodness I have nowhere to go. So, sorry I have to do this. I forgot to grab my blush. So, the blush. I hate to say this. This was my first Patrick Ta product that I ever bought. I bought it full price. It was the 2023 holiday palette with the sparkly blushes and the highlight that's like chunky AF and like Vaseline-y. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate it. 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 I've always hated it. I just really, really, really don't like it. I really, really don't like it. This just did not, everyone raved about his blushes, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to try the holiday palette, and it was not the year to get the holiday palette, because these are not his normal blushes, and I hated it. So I'm going to go in with the shade Giving Sunkissed, which is this middle shade here. I'm going to go in with the cream first. I know he usually does powder, then cream, but I think for this palette, he actually suggested to put the cream down first, again, because this palette is not his normal palette. It is, or his normal formula. It is, like a glittery formula. Do you see the glitter chunks? Oh my god. I just really don't like this. I really don't like this. I just feel like it's hard to blend. It's glittery. It's just not my favorite. Do you see all the glitter? Like, can you actually see that? There's just glitter all over my cheek. And you can see it in the pan. Let's see if I can get this close. Do you see the glitter in the cream shade? It's just like Glittertopia. But, you know, is what it is. So, unfortunately, I barely use this because I just don't like, I don't think it's flattering. I don't like the way it looks. Yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan. So, this was a waste of money for me because I've barely used this and I've had it since 2023. Again, some of this stuff is probably a little expired, but, you know, it doesn't matter. It'll be fine. So let's take my sponge and go around like this. I mean, it looks okay for now, but just not my favorite. So another thing that I decluttered that I don't have today is going to be the Becca. So it was again on an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. That's how I get a lot of my more expensive makeup because I don't have money. But I had the Becca under eye corrector. Y'all, that was so thick. It was so thick. it just looked pasty. So I actually decluttered that. I did recently pick up this Sigma Duo, which is the cream corrector, and I mixed the two colors. I just go in with a brush. This is the Teo Y'all. I don't know. It's an Amazon brush. It was really affordable. But I just take some of this, and I will tell you, I have learned I don't like cream color correcting products. I don't. I had the NYX stick color corrector. I hated that. I had the Becca one. I hated that. And honestly, I kind of hate the Sigma one. The Sigma one is a little bit better than the Becca because it's not as thick. So going in with a brush, like, I can make it work. But honestly, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. So honestly, this one's not my favorite. It is better than the Becca, but the Becca one was an absolute no for me. Already decluttered. And then for concealer, so I'm going to do a new brush here. So I went into the store to get Color Match, and I was like, I need a concealer because my under eyes always smudge mascara, but I have dry skin. And they suggested the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. Now, this was a couple years ago. I have the shade Snow in this, and y'all, it's just too dry. It's too cakey. It's too dry and cakey for my under eyes. It really is. I really, really, really don't like this. And I still keep it because, again, I paid full price for it. I'm going to use this. Again, this is the same brand as that concealer brush, but it's a little bit bigger. It comes in a set of 3. And I get it off Amazon. It's actually, they're really nice brushes. So I'm going to use this. Like I said, do you see how dry? Like, can you see how dry that looks? Oh my goodness. It looks so dry. And I have dry skin, but my under eyes always crease if I don't have a heavy enough powder, is what I found. Now that was before, I found that out after I bought this concealer. So I bought this concealer before I realized that it was all had to do with the powder. But honestly, oh God, I just hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this so much. Do you see how dry my under eyes look? Oh my goodness. And then I don't really have a powder that I hate. So we're going to go in with my Lunar Beauty powder. Because like I said, this is one of my favorites. This is the Luniversal powder. And I'm going to take this. I love that it comes with its own powder puff. Like, Manny, you did it. You did your big one with this one. I love it. So I'm going to put the powder puff in here and get some on the powder puff. And then I always do this to my palm and get it really saturated. Make sure I don't have any creases. Then we're just gonna powder the under eyes and then also my smile lines because I'm getting to that age, y'all, that my smile lines are starting to crease when I'm with my foundation. Just super unfortunate, but you know, we all age, so it is what it is. So again, I just worked this into the puff. I'm just gonna get my under eyes, a little bit of my cheeks, and my smile lines. So this is a powder that I love. Again, I didn't have a powder that I bought that I hate. Oh, I do have a powder that I bought that I hate. Y'all are gonna hate me for this. You're gonna hate me. Okay, I'm gonna show you the powder because I just remembered the powder that I hate. This is the OG Givenchy formula in the shade 2 Satin Blanc. I've had this since the OG formula was discontinued. I hate this so much. It's not heavy enough for my under eye, so I have to use it as like a finishing powder, but I just never do because I have my Hourglass. So we'll use this as a finishing powder today, but I just hate it. I really don't like it. It's just not heavy enough to avoid my under eyes from getting mascara. My mascara always runs on my under eyes if I don't have a heavy enough powder. And the OG Givenchy is not heavy enough for me, unfortunately. Okay, so next we're going to go into bronzer. We're going to do my powder bronzer. And this, I have the NYX Buttermelt bronzer. I thought this was a cream when I first got it, so I was using the wrong brush. With this brush, it looks a little better, but y'all, this is so pigmented. This is so pigmented. I have the shade Buttercup, and this is so incredibly pigmented. So I literally do one tap, and then I put that everywhere that I put the cream bronzer. And I just do one tap, like for my forehead. I just one tap, because if you do more than one tap, ooh, it's going to be way, way, way too pigmented. Way too pigmented. So I make it work. I still use it once in a while, but again, it's just not my favorite. And then for blush, powder blush, we are going to go in to the Patrick Ta again. And we're going to use the same shade. Oops, sorry. We're going to use the same shade in the middle, but the powder side. So I'm just also going to do one tap. Just put that right on top. And again, the powder has shimmer in it. It's just not my favorite. It really isn't. One more tap for this side because it's not quite as pigmented. All right. God, I use it and I just hate it. I hate my makeup today already. All right. So now we are going to go into, let's do the under eyes. I'm going to start with the Natasha Denona palette. Now for the under eyes, I always use the same colors. So I'm going to go into Tender and Mesh here for the under eye with just like a packing brush, because it's a little smaller that I can get to my under eye with it. So we're going to do that first. And I just do a light wash. And then we're going to do the same I always do this. I do the same colors on the top, or on the bottom that I do on the top. So I'm going to take this AC124, and I'm going to put this on the middle to end with my pinky, because I just honestly find this is the easiest to get the pigment on. It's just using my pinky. Sometimes it turns into a mess. Like I said, I don't care. I'm going to take this AC120 and put this in the middle, or the inner part of the lower again, just to match what we have going on the top. And there you have it. That's the under eye. Okay. Then for highlight. You guys might not like me for this either, but, and this doesn't really go with the look today, but again, we're not leaving, so whatever. So first I want to say there is another highlight that I decluttered already, and it is the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter and the Essence. I didn't like either of them. I decluttered both of them, and the reason I decluttered them, they were too dark for me. Now you can still get Becca, the under eye corrector and the highlighter through Smashbox at Ulta, and that's how I got it. I got it again, Ulta 21 Days of Beauty had it 50% off. I bought it and I already decluttered it because it was way too dark for me, and I'm just like, girl, why did so many people like this back in the day? Because it's so dang dark for me. So I don't have those to try on today, but I do have my brand new Dior Forever Glow Luminizer in Pink Halo. Y'all, I saw so many reviews that said, oh, this is my best of beauty. I love it. And I was like, yes, I want to treat myself. My birthday's in December. So I was like, oh, treat yourself. And I got it. Y'all, I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. It's not as impactful as I want it to be. And I use a fan brush with all of my highlights because I like a pretty impactful highlight. And this just isn't it. It really isn't. It's just not, it just doesn't do it for me. It's just not. Like, I like their OG highlighting palette better. This one. Now, I know they reformulated it. I have the one prior to the reformulation, but I like that better. I really do. This is just, oh my god. It's just not it. It's just not impactful enough that I feel it's worth the high price tag. I just don't love it. It makes me sad because I love Dior. And, like, of course I want to love my high-end products. Like, you know, I spent an arm and a leg on them. And, yeah, it's okay. It's really okay. I will continue to use it, but I just don't love it. I really don't. Like, can you see? It's okay. It's just okay. So then sorry, my nose is running. For powder, now I usually do the Hourglass over everything because I love my Hourglass. But like I said, because I forgot to use this on my under eye, we're going to use the Givenchy powder. So I'm going to get some into the cap. I'm going to take this big brush. I got this on TJ. It's just this like really big fluffy brush. And I'm just going to get this coated on the brush. And then I'm going to pat it into my hand again. And then we're just going to sweep this over the complexion to try to tone down like some of that bronzer and blush. Mainly the bronzer. Went a little crazy. Gotta get a little bit more. We're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to tap my brush in. Get this all saturated. Oh, wow, that was a lot of powder. Oh, my goodness. And then we're just going to sweep it. And honestly, maybe this is how I will end up using this powder because I have not thought to do this. And it's just not thick enough or heavy enough for my under eyes. Okay, so there we have it. That is the face all done. Honestly, that helped a lot. That helped a lot. Oh my goodness, I'm like covered in powder now. But that honestly helped a lot, so I'm not actually mad about that. And then, let's see, the last thing that I wanted to talk about was lips. Now, I don't have a lip liner that I hate. I actually love almost all my lip liners. And as usual that I've been doing lately, we're going to do a lip liner stain. And I have two products that I want to talk about today for lips. So, the first one, I got this 50% off. Again, Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. You are going to hear that repeatedly on my channel. I got this tinted butter balm from Kylie. Oh my god, this is so thick and kind of gross. It's just too thick. It's too thick. And then my husband, and also when I say husband and partner, there's only one guy in this household, okay? He's the same person. Sometimes I call him my partner. Sometimes I call him my husband. It's the same man. Anyway, so my husband bought me this for my birthday because he knows that I like to bedazzle my charms, or I like to put little charms on my lip balm. So he got me a couple lip balms that I can do that too. And this is the original Lancome Juicy Tubes. It's so thick. It's so thick and sticky. Now, I will tell you, it lasts a long time because it's so thick and sticky. But it does last a long time, so I'll give you that. Let's see, what color do we want to do today? I think we're gonna do, let's do this Sephora Collection Cocoa Swipe color, because this is a really pretty brown, and it'll go with that Kylie one that I'm gonna wear today. And honestly, I find that the Sephora lip liner stains are some of the most long-lasting in my collection. So I just really like them. And I just do a general. I fill in my whole lip with lip liner stains and lip liners in general. It's just what I do. And then we're going to take this Kylie Lip Butter Balm in the shade She's Lovely. And this is one of those that like twist up. And I thought it would be like the Makeup by Mario because those are one of my favorites. And this is just like so thick and pasty. Now, it looks pretty. I'll give you that. But the feeling is just not it for me. All right, so let me do a spritz of my Make It Last setting spray. This I love. This is not a hate, this is a love, but I don't want this makeup to last all day, frankly. But I'm still gonna do it because I do it after every application of makeup. So we're gonna spray this on. Then I go over it with my sponge. And then I take this Moulin Rouge fan and I fan my face until it's dry. Now, honestly, let's do a close-up here. Let's take a look. Honestly, the makeup turned out okay. It actually didn't turn out as bad as I figured it would. But, y'all, it's just not my favorite. It's just not my favorite. So let me take down my hair. Now it's going to be a kind of a mess because I haven't been able to do it yet because I'm waiting for it to air dry. But let's take this down. We'll finish out the video. I know my hair's a mess. Just please ignore. Like I said, this is new. A new process for me for the hair. So we're just trying stuff out. Anyway, so what do you think? This is what the makeup looks like. It's okay. It's okay. It's not my favorite. So again, no hate to the brands, no hate to the products even. They just didn't work for me. And honestly, my makeup turned out kind of okay today. Better than I anticipated, for sure. But that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you stay tuned and you stay along and subscribe because I'd love to have you part of my family online. And you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining.